webs, all that stuff. Ninjas. Just back from the NRA annual meeting. And I spent a lot of time at the CZUSA booth. And I filmed a lot at the CZUSA booth with a bad audio cable. So what I have here is we're going to use some of that stuff. And we're also going to talk about two pistols. The P10 series took the blend of their polymer series, which they started with the P09, P07, and went after the striker-fired market. And the P10C came in. Now the P10C had a great trigger, great ergonomics. I wasn't wild about the magazine release, but that's because it was a true ambidextrous magazine release. So it was sort of stiff either way you were using it. Well, as you probably already know, CZ listened to some feedback from their people. But let's look at the new guns joining the P10 lineup. First up is what I call their duty pistol, the P10F. This is a superb duty pistol. The only thing I can compare it to currently, because I've got some comparisons for this other gun, but the only thing I compare it to right now is the P09. Simply because of magazine capacity and the way it feels. Comes with a 19 round mag. Out of the box, it feels better. It feels better than the Glock 17 in your hand. It has a better ergonomic feel to it. It comes with the back straps that are interchangeable if you want to change that up a little bit. Shooting impulse is crazy good. As a duty pistol with this kind of capacity, I think it would be very difficult to beat this. The only thing that I can see that is not in its favor is there's so many Glocks out there in the system now. It may take a bit for this to catch up. But maybe when these organizations start to change or upgrade, they'll look at this, because this is truly an upgrade. Really high-vis sights. This is just a great striker-fired pistol. The trigger, you know, you hear about the trigger. There's people who will say the VP9 trigger is better. They'll say the Walther trigger is better. My taste, as far as the trigger and the reset is concerned, I like this trigger. So P10F, this is a superb pistol for a duty sidearm or outside the waistband carry, or inside the waistband carry. There's certain holsters out there. Which, one thing I didn't add to this, both of these pistols I have here are already set up for optics to be added to it. So that's one less thing for you to have to worry about. Then we come to the P10 S. Now straight out of the box, look, I've got stuff in it. Straight out of the box, this is a pistol. This is a pistol that comes with the optics already cut into it if you want to do that. 12 round magazine. Why is that important? For me, I'm a capacity guy. I like capacity. I like a small package and capacity. Now, just for comparison's sake, let me show you a couple things. The number 1 and number 2 pistols, I think, right now for single stack carry in 9mm have got to be the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield and the Glock 43. I have magazines in them so you can see the depth of the gun with the magazine in them. This has the 7-rounder, this has the 6-rounder. Now these are single stacks, but when you look at them comparatively speaking, you're not gaining a whole lot in width. You are gaining a little bit in depth, or excuse me, length. But then in the very important part, which is the part that sticks out of the, shows above your waistband, you are even with the Glock 43 with twice the capacity. Then with the M&P Shield, which has 7 rounds in it, so you're talking 8. Once again, when you look at it, you're not getting a whole lot in the way of gaining anything on width. You are winning on length, but you're going from an 8, and then from the base of the gun, just about even. So you have 12 rounds versus 8 rounds versus 7 rounds that way. But then what about the original baby gun, the original double stack baby gun? That would be the Glock 26. Now, I like the Glock 26 as far as a carry gun is concerned, but you have to do a few things to it. Like you have to, in order to get to this, I have to go to Hyve Technologies to get the same kind of trigger, the same kind of mag release, and the same kind of capacity that I do with this gun straight out of the box. And then on the other things that matter, width-wise, you're about the same. Once again, the gun is a little bit longer. And as far as at the end of the base on the magazines, this one might protrude a little bit, but that's, here we have 12 rounds versus 12 rounds. So this one, for my criteria, which is the most I can stick into the pistol, this one has to be modded up a little bit. Nothing wrong with doing that. Hyve Technologies is a good place to go to get the stuff to do it. Nothing wrong with doing that. Or you can just have it straight out of the box. With the same kind of straight out of the box, really good resetting trigger. So, as it is every time I get some of these, I took them to the range. Like I said at the NRA meetup, I got with Hein, who is the social media director for CZUSA, and we were going to talk about 4 guns, and the audio cable went south on me. And the 4 guns we were going to talk about were, we were going to start with the EVO3 S2 Micro, and he showed me a couple of things about that one. Then from there, we went to the EVO3 S1. Apparently, the Scorpion platform has ascended to that level of acceptance in pistol caliber carbines to where now Magpul is making furniture and magazines for it. And the magazines coming for them are going to be less expensive than the proprietary ones, which are not very, $19.95 for the proprietary ones for the Scorpion. These will be less expensive and have a larger capacity. In addition to that, we looked at the CZ Shadow, the SP1 Shadow, which is the #1. I think more people use that in USPA than anybody else. And we looked at another one of their very nice .22 rifles with an integrated suppressor that was, it was quite the masterpiece to behold. I'm sorry I lost the audio to it because it was a very good oratory, but so looking and considering the P10 platform, I do not consider the P10 platform to be a Glock killer per se. I think what they have done is they have taken the whole idea of the striker fired concept, and everything that I have to do to a Glock to make it better comes out of the box with the P10. One thing I forgot to mention is they listened to the input and the feedback concerning the magazine release, and they made this, it's the same magazine release now as on the P07, P09. So while I hesitate to call this a perfect platform, there'll be some, gray guns, they'll do a couple of modifications to it, maybe on the trigger or in the internals, but the weapon has the forward serrations that you want to use to cock it, back serrations, texture on the grip, interchangeable back strap. I'm sure Apex will make some sort of a trigger for it if you want to replace the trigger, if you feel like you need to. I'm a satisfied ex-Glock fanboy now. Check these guys out, cz-usa.com. If you like this kind of content, as usual, if you would be so kind, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, give me a little feedback on this, tell me what you think about this, and I'll see you next time.